Well, hello again, kids and others. Mum and Dad and George and Abigail. How are you guys today? Today is 5:15 on Sunday, the 12th of September, 2021. Okay? So let's get that out of the road for a start. Now, here we go. I hope you guys are looking after Mum and Dad, George and Abby. You being a good girl, Ab? I'm sure you are. You looking after George? And what about George? Is he looking after you? Well, George and Abby, I've got another book for you. There it is. Rupert and the Pirate's Den. Now, I think I know that you know what this is about, especially you, George. You've got an idea. Here we go. It's called Rupert and the Pirate's Den. A strange old map starts you and Rupert on the exciting search. A strange old map. Now, it looks like it's got an X marks the spot on it. And all good maps have an X marking the spot, don't they? Okie dokie. So we'll turn to page 1 and we'll start the story. You and Rupert are enjoying a super boating holiday on Black Marsh Broads. That's an area over in England, somewhere where the story is set. And there goes Rupert on Black Marsh Broads. There we go. The narrow creeks and winding channels were once the haunt of pirate gangs and smugglers. It's a good job. It's a good job you're not around there now, isn't it? It's a good job that they're not running around there chasing little boys and bears around, and girls. But now the main visitors are the birds who flock there to nest, because it'll be a lowland area and the birds will be going there because it's nice and quiet and peaceful. It's their part of the country, isn't it? Away from us. At the boat supply store, Rupert finds a faded map of the Broads pinned to the wall. It's an old pirate chart, explains the friendly storekeeper. You can borrow it if you like. There it goes there. There it goes. You can borrow it if you like, he says. All right. Rupert gulps with excitement when he takes a closer look. The Pirate's Den is marked on it. I'm sure we could find the spot, he cries. Perhaps we'll discover some long-lost treasure there. Wow, how about that? Some long-lost treasure. Wow, that looks pretty clever. Okay, let's turn over the page and see what's in store. You race back to your boat and cast off as quickly as possible. You know what cast off means? Cast off, to cast off. That means that you pull the rope from the bank, from the peg on the bank where it's tied to, and casting off is pushing away from the bank into the stream. So you're away from the bank and you're off. You're off on the boat. And he did that as quickly as possible. We must keep to the main stream for a bit, says Rupert, studying the chart. You are both too busy to notice a small launch coming the other way. It's heading directly toward you. What's a launch? It's another boat, isn't it? You know the boat coming? And notice what Rupert's wearing, guys. What's Rupert wearing? What's that important thing he's wearing? He's wearing a life vest or a life jacket. Yeah, and you've got to do that when you go out in a boat, don't you? It saves you from, if you fall overboard, it saves you from drowning. That's what that does, that orange life vest. Very good. The man on the launch waves frantically. Keep to your own side, he shouts angrily. What does he mean by keep to your own side? He means that there are lanes, like on a road. You know how you have two lanes? You have one lane going one way and one lane going the other. and he was waving at Rupert. Keep to your own side. Keep to your own lane. Which side is that? Gasps Rupert. Do you know which side of the river you should be on? Oh, if you think the rule is that you should keep to the left, turn to page 7. And it says there also, if you think you should always keep to the right, turn to page 9. I mean, there's one quick way to find out. If the other boat's right over to one side, then you're going to go down the other side, aren't you? That's a nice quick way of thinking, but there is an actual proper way to do it. Okay, so are we going left or right? I think we're going to have to go left. Should we go left? So if you think the rule is that you should keep to the left, turn to page 7. So we turn to page 7. Rupert steers to the left, but it's the wrong way. The rule of the river is that you should always keep to the right. The man in the launch swings his wheel desperately, and he just manages to miss you. But the wave made by his boat soaks you to the skin. By the time you've changed into dry clothes, it's too late to start out again. Oh no! Wrong way, Rupert. They'll be calling him, won't they? Look at him, he's getting all splashed from the boat. Okay. I'm afraid this is the end of our adventure for today, decides Rupert glumly, but I'm sure we'll find the pirate's den next time. Shall we try again tomorrow? All right, we'll try again tomorrow then. Okay, well, I'll say, no, it's all right. I'll carry on, won't I? I'll actually go back and we'll start again. Go back to that page, and if you think you should always keep to the right and not the left, turn to page 9. So we'll turn to page 9. What does it say on page 9? Rupert steers to the right and the launch passes you comfortably. Comfortably means everybody's happy. Comfortably. No one's going to get hurt. There's no big waves and everybody's happy. You're comfortably on the couch at the moment, I suppose, aren't you guys? And if I know you, Abigail, you're going to be all curled up in Mum's arms. Eh? And George is going to be paying attention. Good boy, George. Well done for knowing which side of the river you should keep to. And then it says at the bottom, carry on to the next page. So on the next page, but now there's another problem. A man on the riverside is hoisting a red flag. Does that mean we can't go any further? Asks Rupert anxiously. Well, does it? If you think the red flag means you should turn back, go to page 11. If you think it means something else, go to page 13. Okay. Now there, that's better. I think it means something else in this case, so we'll go to page 13. Okay. Page 11 and 12 and page 13. You're right. You don't need to turn back. But do you know what the red flag means? In fact, it's a warning that you mustn't swim or play in the water. Did you know that? That's because there's boats around, and you don't want the boats donking the kids in the water, do you? No. Okay. There's the man there. He's giving Rupert a wave. Rupert's waving back, and you can see a good picture there of his life jacket. You can see his life jacket on there, see, in the other picture? Floating, keeps you upright and keeps you afloat. Okay, Rupert is busy looking at the chart again. We must branch off by an old watermill, he says. He scans the river ahead and then points excitedly. Yes, there it is, he cries. There you go. He's pointing ahead excitedly. There it is, he cries. So we'll turn the page. We're on page 14. We'll go to page 15. I suppose it says. Turn to page 15. So here we go. Page 15. Rupert stares toward the old mill and then looks doubtful. I'm not sure whether this is the right place or not, he mutters. What do you think? Does it look right to you? If it does, turn to page 12, and if it doesn't, turn to page 17. Does it look right to you, George and Abby? I think it looks pretty right, to be honest. I mean, there's nothing there to tell you that it's wrong. As I say, you've gone to the windmill. So, if it does look right, turn to page 12. Let's have a look what page 12 says. Good thinking. It's not an old watermill, it's an old windmill. The watermill you are looking for is further along, close to a narrow inlet. No, it was actually page 17. It wasn't right. It didn't look right. It didn't look right to him. And it didn't look right because that's not a watermill, it's a windmill. Because over here it says, good thinking, it's not an old watermill, it's an old windmill. Grandad got that wrong. Okay? So it wasn't right. Rupert was right in thinking things weren't quite right. The watermill you are looking for is further along, close to a narrow inlet. Rupert guides the boat carefully into the opening and then blinks in dismay. The channel is so overgrown that it is impossible to see which way to go. Let's hope we can get through, he gasps. Righto. Now, George and Mildred and Abby. Sorry about that. I want to hold that up so that you can see it. There we go. I'll hold that there for a bit. And you can start off there at the bottom, down there, Granddad's finger. And you're going to have to go right across to the other side, down to that finger. Okay, so you're going to have to find your way through there. And I'll hold this here for a bit longer, but I think you might have to pause it to do this one. I'll hold it, and I'll hold it a bit longer. I'll hold it a bit longer. There we go. And what I'll do now is, if that's not long enough, you'll have to pause it. Okay? And we turn over, and there's still more. There's still more to find, to go through. And it comes in at the top here, and it follows that arrow. So you've got to get right through to that point there. And Grandad will hold this back up again. There we go. Grandad's peeking through the bottom. There, can you see that? Can you follow that? We'll hold it up here a bit longer so you can pause it. Okay. Okay, you may have to pause that just so you can complete that. Now that we're through, Rupert grins cheerfully as you steer the boat out of the maze. We must be close to the pirate's den now, he cries. He points to a fork coming up ahead. We take the left channel here, he tells you. He pointed to a fork. What sort of a fork is that? Is that a fork for eating your dinner? No, it's not. It's a fork in the river. And when they talk about a fork in the river, see that picture? You can either go up that one or you can go along that one. And that area there is called a fork in the river, where the river goes two different ways. Okay? It's called a fork. We must be close to the pirate's den now, he cries. He points to a fork coming up ahead. We take the left channel here, he tells you. So they're going to take the left channel. Which is the left channel? I think it's that. I think it's that one. That one. but there is a half-hidden signboard peeping out from the tall reeds. See the half-hidden signboard there? What does it say? It says no something. Let's have a look what it says. I wonder if it says we shouldn't go that way after all, frowns Rupert. What do you think? Can you guess what is written on the board? If you think it warns you not to go that way, turn to page 28. And if you think it says something else, turn to page 23. So what do you think it says? Do you think it says no boating? Or does it say something else? It might say something else. I think it might say something else because it's got an H in it. And I think it says fishing. No fishing. So I think it says something else. If you think it says something else, turn to page 23. So we turn over the page, from page 22 to page 23. There we are, 23. Of course, the sign simply says, no fishing, exclaims Rupert. So we can go this way after all. He steers the little boat toward the left-hand channel and then glances at the chart. We should see some lock gates soon. We should see some lock gates soon, he says. He shades his eyes with his hand. Yes, look, there they are. Can you see the lock gates up there? It's those ones there. They're going to have to go through those gates. And usually with lock gates, it shows you the difference. There's a difference in the height of the river at that point. Behind those gates, the river will be a little bit higher. Okay? That's why they have gates there, because if they didn't have gates there, the river would flow too fast. So they put gates in there to stop a lot of the water from flowing, so it makes the gates it makes the water a wee bit softer in its fall. The lock looks easy to work, but you must pay to go through it. Rupert gets some coins ready to put in the slot machine and then grunts in surprise. The ancient sign shows the amount required in old money. Because they are now using what's called decimal currency over there, decimal money over in England, like we use here. And it's a different amount shows on the old money. Okay, I'm not sure if that means 10p or 5p. 10 pence or 5 pence, frowns the little bear. Do you know? If you think you should put 10p in the machine, turn to page 25. If you think 2 shillings is 5p, because that's 2 shillings, that says 2 shillings. Granddad knows that because he's old and he knows that. So if you think that 2 shillings is 5p, turn to page 29. Well, I happen to know. This is where it makes a big mistake. This is, I happen. Hold on. I don't like the sound of that. I've got a horrible feeling I haven't recorded it.